Greetings, Disney adults, Disney fans of all ages, welcome. Did you know that if you go visit the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, you're actually walking on the second floor? It's true. What's on the first floor? It's actually a system of tunnels, an elaborate system of tunnels that cast members can use to get wherever they need to go. The Magic Kingdom itself is actually built up on the second level. I had a viewer recently who asked and said, what do you think Walt would think of the tunnel system in the Magic Kingdom? And I thought that was an excellent question. So we're going to talk about that today a little bit. Many of you probably already familiar with the tunnel system, also known as the utilidors in the Magic Kingdom. But I thought it was a good question. So, what would Walt think of the utilidors? I'm going to talk about that a little bit today, and I'm excited to answer that question with you. And like always, before we can get into answering that question, we first need to go back in time.
First of all, there's the big legend that the Magic Kingdom is built on a subterranean city underneath it. And that's almost right, because at that time we built utilidors that allow our employees to get anywhere in the park without having to go up and be seen on stage.
While the guests enjoy their day in the park up above, the utilidors house the high-tech systems that help create the magic.
When we came to Walt Disney World and with the creation of the Magic Kingdom, we actually built a series of utility corridors, better known as utilidors. And one of the things the utilidor system does for us is allow cast members to come up in an appropriate costume in an appropriate themed area.
By the early 1960s, Disneyland was so popular that the Disney company said, what if we build another park on the East Coast? The Disney company began looking for sites, and in 1963, Walt flew over Orlando, Florida, and knew that he had found his site. The Disney company then secretly purchased a lot of land in Central Florida, much of it very cheaply, mainly because a lot of it was swampland. That's important for later. By 1965, the Disney company had announced that yes, Florida would be the site for a new Disney park. Sadly, in 1966, Walt passed away before construction ever started, but his brother Roy took over, and in 1967, construction began on Disney World and the Magic Kingdom. Now, where Walt had sighted out for the Magic Kingdom to go was really lots of swampland. We've already talked about that, with a very high water table. And what that meant was that a lot of dirt was going to have to be brought in to build up the land so that you could build on it. Now, rather than going out and contracting with people all over the state and trying to get dirt hauled in from all over, the Disney company said, let's create another water feature. Now, Bay Lake, which is over close to the Magic Kingdom, was a natural lake. It was already there. But right in front of the Magic Kingdom, right beside Bay Lake, that's where they brought in cranes and earth movers and bulldozers to try to clear out all this dirt. And what they literally did is they dug a huge hole in front of the Magic Kingdom, which later became the Seven Seas Lagoon. And they took that dirt and they brought it into the Magic Kingdom to build up so that they could successfully build the Magic Kingdom safely. Now, on the first floor, remember I said the Magic Kingdom's actually on the second floor. On the first floor, they built a series of tunnels or corridors which would later be used by cast members to get to where they needed to go. See, according to legend, no one's exactly sure when this happened or if it's actually true, but according to legend, one day in Disneyland, Walt, while walking through Tomorrowland, saw a cowboy who was evidently on his way to Frontierland to go to work for the day. And it really bothered Walt. He said he's taking away from the theming of Tomorrowland, and he shouldn't be here. By having the tunnels underneath the Magic Kingdom, cast members can do everything they need to before they start work underneath, backstage as it were, before they come on stage in the public's view to go to work. And the utilidors provided a great way to take care of that. The utility corridors, or the utilidors, or what a lot of people simply refer to as the tunnels. That is what is underneath the Magic Kingdom. Again, on the first floor, Magic Kingdom on the second floor, and actually there's a very gradual rise, so that by the time you get to the hub and Cinderella's Castle, you're actually on the third floor. But the rise is so gradual, you don't even notice that it's there. So, what happens down in the tunnels, or the utilidors? Well, there is a main tunnel entrance back behind Fantasyland. Disney cast members park their cars about a mile away, and then there is bus transport that carries them to the main tunnel entrance, like I said, behind Fantasyland. Now, I know when I worked there, main costuming was there. The main costuming area was there underneath in the tunnel system. I would go pick up my costume for the day. There was a huge locker room where we could change clothes and store our regular civilian clothes while we put on our Disney costumes. And then you would walk underneath until you found the appropriate spot to make your way up into the park. And then once you're in the park, well, then you're on stage. And if you've done it correctly, you're on stage in a place where your costume fits the theming. Now, down in the tunnels, to help you out, the tunnels are color-coded. So each corridor has its own color, so you know kind of what's above you at any time when you're down there. Like I said, costuming at least used to happen there. My understanding is there is now a large building close to the parking lot, which is now where costuming takes place. There is a cafeteria down there, or there was a cafeteria down there. There is a place where you can get food. One of the big things that happens down in the tunnel system is the AVAC system. The AVAC system is an automated vacuum system for trash collection. What happens is up on stage, a custodial staff member perhaps empties a trash can. He or she will bring the bag to one of several locations where they can put the trash, and the pneumatic tubes take it to one central location. There it is compacted and then sent out to some trash maintenance facility. But all of this happens in the tunnels. So guests really never see cast members hauling trash around, which is a good thing. Also down in the tunnel system is the DAX system. The DAX is all of the computing that is done for the entire park. So everything up in the Magic Kingdom is controlled by the DAX system down in the tunnels. Everything from Henry starting the Country Bear Jamboree, to you jumping on a rocket in Space Mountain, to you badging in with your magic band when you enter the park, to you purchasing some merchandise at the Emporium. All of these things have their main control points down in the DAC system, which is down in the tunnels, or the utilidors. So yeah, all of the stuff, all of that extra stuff happens down in the utilidors. It's a great system. It's a very effective system, and the answer to the question, what would Walt think? I think Walt would be thrilled with it. I think Walt would say how awesome that this is being used, and it was actually one of Walt's original ideas. Going back to Epcot Center, which was what he was working on in 65 and 66, if you look at some of Walt's original designs for Epcot, he really didn't want cars traveling through Epcot Center itself. His idea was to have a highway underneath the city, and that's where cars would travel. His idea actually had a separate highway for deliveries and delivery trucks, and these would run underneath the city, similar to what we see with the utilidor system at the Magic Kingdom. It's a very, very cool system, and once again, I can recall when I worked there in the 1980s, I would show up to work, park my car, the bus would bring me to the front, I would come in, I would make my way over to costuming, get my costume, go into the locker room and change, and then I would make my way down the tunnels, and I would go up this stairway, and that would bring me out right across the way from where 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was. And then I could make my way to work and work as I was supposed to work. So yeah, I'm very familiar with the tunnel system. I use them a lot. Again, very effective way to make sure that cast members stay out of public view until they need to be seen. I do think Walt would be thrilled with it. I think Walt would love it. But what do you think? Give me some thoughts. Give me some opinions. Hey, give me a comment below. Hey, do me a favor. Give me a like. Subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you at Disney World very soon.